Hey everybody, welcome back to the Gamble Smart channel. Mark here. I hope you're doing well. So we wanted to talk a little bit about the video that came out this week from Mr. Handpay. And I wanted to render a couple of my opinions on this as well. Guys, before we get started in this, this is not going to be personal. We're not going to talk about any names or anything like that in this video. I want to stick to the absolute facts, okay? And I think that's really important. I think things are getting a little crazy out there with the name calling and back and forth and all this kind of stuff. Guys, that's a distraction. Like, try to ignore that for now and focus on the information that Mr. Handpay is putting out here. I think he did a good job of covering a lot of the bases, and that's what we need to focus on, and that's what I'm going to focus on today in this video, is listen to what is being said, take the personal equation out of it, listen to what is being said, listen to what some of these companies have been doing, and then render an opinion based off of that. Sound fair? Let's get into it. All right, before we jump into this, I want to give you guys kind of a little bit of backstory before we start playing some of the clips here. If you want to see the full thing, just for relevance sake, you know, the link is in the description below. I think one thing that people don't understand about influencers is that we get partnership agreements all the time, right? This is the natural evolution of getting big on YouTube, right? You get YouTube ad revenue and then you get partnerships, and that's just what happens, right? You can see this for any YouTuber that starts to get to a certain size. You start to see the ad breaks and things like that. It's natural, right? This is what it is. Dave and I get hundreds of these every single month. The reason you don't really see a lot of them is because they're not relevant to our audience, right? You don't want rice cookers. Rice cookers has nothing to do with Gambling Smart. You know, we get stuff for like cheap, you know, power plugs and things like that on Amazon. It makes no sense whatsoever. Some even email us and say, we want a partnership with you, and they don't even say what it's for. You know, so it's very natural. Like, this happens. I can imagine people that are very big, like Jason, Mr. Handpay, gets thousands of these, and it's hard to kind of decide which to go with. But here's the important thing here, and I wanted to get that out of the way because a lot of people are making claims. I've read a lot of comments in YouTube that are, you know, how dare any influencer partner with these guys? You know, on the surface, we don't know. Like, we don't know this stuff. We can always assume that a company is up and up because it's big, right? But every now and then, something like this comes along where you start to scratch your head and say, wow, this is pretty shocking, especially that a company would go to this length. And I'll tell you what we're talking about here in a second. But the important thing to remember is it's about the information that you're about to hear, okay? We don't name call or anything on this channel, but what we want to do is get you to stop listening to the back and forth about, you know, this guy's a douchebag, this guy's a douchebag, this guy did this guy did that. That is not relevant here, in my opinion. What's relevant is the information that Jason put together, and he put himself out there, man. This is not easy, all right? I'm making this video and I'm putting myself out there. This isn't easy either. But I felt like this was needed because of the confusion out there, and plus a lot of you guys were just asking me, so here we are. So I want you guys to listen to certain parts of this recording, and then we'll talk about it. All right, let's go. Okay, let's start with this first clip and go from there.
Also, it is a partnership. If you play with your own money, you know there's one side is a winner, one side is a loser. For us, it's maybe not that important, but for us, it's more important that you're not on the losing end, obviously, of this partnership.
There you go. So Matt right there said he's concerned about me as a streamer being on the losing end and not making any money. Why? You know, I have my reasons. It makes sense for them to crank up the RTP for these streamers that are playing online to show massive wins. And then when you come and play, you're playing a totally different return to player.
All right, so I wanted to comment on that because that's an interesting theory. And the thing is we don't know for sure if they're doing that. But the one thing we do know, especially with sweeps casinos, is that that's not regulated, right? So it is possible, again, we have no proof, but it is possible that they could do that, where they could put influencers on a different server with different RTP settings, even though they appear to be the same games. All I'm saying is it's possible, and that's what happens when you don't have a regulated environment, right? There are sweepstakes. It's not a casino. It's totally different, and there's different regulations for that, and it's important to call that out. All right, let's keep going.
So that's why we also think it would be better for you to go with the original deal.
So the original deal that he's talking about, to my understanding, is that if we do a partnership here, that we will give you the sweepstakes coins and you play it live or on a video, but you have to say it's your money. If anybody asks, it's my money that I'm wagering, that kind of thing. So that's what he's talking about with the original deal. That's my understanding of it.
Because I understand you said no bullshit, but if you go to a land-based casino, most likely you can read some of the slots better than others. I don't know if you're a long-term winner or not, but obviously we want to avoid that there is a loss at you.
Man, we all want to avoid losses, right? But why would he say that unless he knew a way to control it? That's what gets me here. It's like, what he's trying to say, the guy on the call is trying to tell him, listen, we have a way to control your losses and your wins. I mean, that's what I'm hearing. And guys, I've listened to this 5 or 6 times, and that's the conclusion that I'm coming to pretty quickly, is that he's trying to convince Jason that, listen, wouldn't it be great if you didn't lose as much on our platform? Interesting thought.
And at the end of the day, so...
Yeah, you're going to lose at the end of the day with gambling, and I tell everybody that. I mean, that's...
No, it's true. We will win. We're the casino eventually, yeah.
Yeah, unless you're extremely lucky. But, so, I guess I don't agree with the fact that you're saying that, well, you're giving me the money anyway. Well, you guys would be giving me money because of my following and my brand that I've created. It's not like you're just throwing money at me, like, here you go gamble. So I think it's something totally different. I mean, I'd be earning that and then putting that into the platform to play.
That's right. That's the right move right there. And that's something Dave and I have said from day one too, that we will always segment our cash that we earn from YouTube or partnerships or whatever from our gambling money. That is our personal funds. If we get paid by anybody for a partnership or YouTube ad revenue or whatever the case is, and then we decide to gamble with that money, it's coming out of our personal accounts like we have decided. But I think it's important to keep that completely separated, and for obvious reasons here, because that's what this whole thing is about mingling of funds between real money and fake money, and which, if you're not putting anything on the line, how do you know it's real? That's what this whole thing's about.
People like Rushdie, like Expos, like Trainwreck basically says it's his own money, but obviously the deal is so structured that it's not his own money. Are growing and growing, because people want to see the action and no one actually can provide this.
Nobody can provide the action. Why can't casinos provide the action, like physical land-based casinos? Because they're not allowed to monkey with the machines. They can't. By law, they cannot fix them for an influencer to come in and start winning. Now, a lot of you will say, yeah, but I see so-and-so in a casino always winning. No, that's just editing, right? That's not the casino actually controlling the odds. But on these platforms, because of the regulation not being as tight as it is in land-based casinos, they can control this. And this guy is pretty much admitting that, at least in my opinion, that he's admitting that the only way to get any action off of that is for them to get involved, right, in the play itself. And that's, I don't know, that's rough for me to stomach.
This kind of action with his own money, because no one can be that rich, I mean, not even Elon Musk could play that high level like these people play.
So here's what's weird about this. Okay, so he's basically saying nobody can play that big. Not even Elon Musk could play that big. Yet they are. So why not just play with the fake coins? Like, why deposit inside of a casino? Just play with the virtual currency, not even associated. No sweepstakes coins or anything. Just play with the demo mode. I mean, it's the same thing in my opinion, and that I think would be safer because no real money is involved. It's weird. All right, so now let's get on to my favorite part of this whole recording. I mean, favorite's kind of a strong word, but it's not good.
So, yeah, what we need to know basically, I mean, how big is this blocker? Is this something I would like to do? I could think about it.
Can I tell people I'm not playing with real money? Can I be honest with them?
No.
I have to tell them I'm playing with real money? I mean, because people are going to ask in the comments.
What? I have the same reaction that Jason has. What? I mean, this is just... You know, I don't really want to play anymore because I want you guys to listen to what I have to say here. Again, try not to think about he said, she said, he's a liar, all that. That's what's going around right now, right? And it's natural. We all want to do that, right? We are not about taking sides. I'm not taking sides, even though, I mean, of course, I've commented on his video because I felt like this was an outstanding effort. But what's really important, what needs to really come out of this is change. I think that influencers need to take a little bit more responsibility in ensuring their audience of what they are or not doing right behind the scenes, especially if it's going to influence their decisions to gamble, right? This is a very serious thing. We talk about this on this channel all the time. You need to gamble with the right information. And if what you're seeing is not real, I think you need to be told that. You need to understand that so that you can make the right decisions, right? It's not about influencers making tons of money and all this kind of stuff. It's about sending you a clear message on what's going on, what is fixed, what is not fixed, and be open about it. I mean, what is the harm in doing that? I challenge you influencers to start every single video saying, we are here at X because they sponsored us to be here. That's all you got to say. And then people will understand. You don't have to disclose how much financially you're being paid or anything like that. That's contractual. That's besides the point. But just letting people know that you were being paid to be there or you have some kind of financial arrangement with it. And I think us as influencers need to be held at a higher standard as well when it comes to that. And this whole thing that came out this week is just proof that we need more transparency. Jason's right. He said it multiple times in his video that this industry needs more transparency. God, Dave and I talk about this all the time. And why do you think we do? Because I'm going to just say it. Shit like this is happening and it's not good for you, right? I want to just leave with a couple of final thoughts that I have with this. And first off, again, I need to reiterate that not all organizations like this are like this. They're not all bad. You cannot lump them in with everybody else. Again, we don't really like sweepstakes casinos, but it's not because they're bad or nefarious. I mean, these guys are, but they're not all like that. The only reason that we are against it is because the regulation is so limited, right? And that's just not something we are comfortable with. Now, if that changes, great. We can have sweepstakes casinos that are more regulated than they are now. I can only hope for that, right? And that's what we all should hope for. Just for your protection, right? And it's about your protection. That's why land-based casinos have all the protection that they have, so that you feel comfortable going in there and knowing people aren't monkeying with anything. And this call kind of just makes you think, wow, maybe there is something going on with these online casinos, you know, and you should at least start to question it. That's all I'm saying. But guys, if you want to leave your comment down below, again, no name calling, no so-and-so's a douchebag, this and that, none of that. That's not what we're here for. We will delete all of them and we will hide you from the channel. That's not what we're here for. We want you to pay attention to the facts that I showed you today and my opinion that I rendered. It's an opinion, right? But I have a lot of experience in this area and I think I can render my opinion on this. And I appreciate you guys listening to me. I do want to hear what you guys think of this, honestly, but keep it civil. No name calling, no crazy stuff in the comments, right? That's not what we're about. And if it gets like that, I'm just going to take the video down because it's not worth it, right? But I think we can all have a very civil and humane conversation about the transparency in this space. It's very, very important to us, and I think we should all, you know, come together and figure out a way forward. All right, what do you guys think? All right, I'm Mark from Gamble Smart. Gamble safe. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.